indexing and slicing. What is indexing? So indexing is basically the position where our data is present. Let's say I have a list of n number of data. So the first index of that data would start from 0. Our first index value is always from 0. In case of array data type or list data type, we start our index value from 0, and it goes through n number which you have given, or n data which you have given. But the key thing to remember in indexing, let's say I want to print 1,000 value. So the key thing is here to remember, if I want to print 1,000 value, I have to give the index initial position. Let's say my initial index is 0, and I want to print till 1,000. So I will give my last index position, which will be 1001. So our index exclude the last value. Let's say I want to print 1,000 value, and I am starting from 0 index. So I have to give last value of our index 1001, because it will exclude that 1001th value, and it will give us the value from 0 to 1,000. So we have to remember that if we want to print 10th value from 0 index to 10th index, we have to give our last index 11, because it will exclude that 11th value, and it will print us a value from 0 to 10. And that's how index works. So what is indexing and how we do that? Let's say I have a string. Let's say I have a string in variable a, and I say that string is, this is a programming tutorial. And if I say print a, and we give our index in square brackets, our index value in square brackets. So if I say a, which is our variable name, and in square bracket I would say 3, from our starting index value, we will take our starting index value from 3 to our last index value 8. To recap, note, in index the start value in our case is 3 in square bracket, which is s, and in our string s will get included, but our last value will not get included, which is 8. So if I say print 3 and 8 from starting index, which is 3, and I would say go to 8th, so it will give us s and is, because it will start from 0, which is t, 1, which is h, I, which is 2, and s, which is third value, our initial index, which is s. It will go to index number 4, which is I, and then it will go to index number 5, which is s, and then it will count the 6th index value, which is our space, and I think there is one more space in that, and it will count that space as our 7th index, and it will exclude the value after that. So we get s and is in our case. So that's how indexing works. Let's check the length of our string. Let's say we want to check our length of our string. So we can do that by saying print in parentheses len, which is stands for length, and in another parentheses inside the parentheses on length function parentheses, we will give our variable, and it will give us the length of our string, which is 32. And what if we want to check indexes of our string, like if we want to check what is the index value for a certain string? So we can do that by saying print in parentheses len, and in parentheses we will give our variable name, and if and we will give our starting and end index position, and it will give us the length between those index position. In our case it will give us 5. The difference between both index position is 5. Now if we want to check the type of data in our variable, we can say check that by saying type and giving variable name. And at last, if we want to check what type of data we have given to our second variable, we can check that also by saying type, and our second variable which we have provided 1 2 3 6 7 8, and it will provide us integer, which is our data type.